Daniel Puth, thank you so much for joining us on the Plan Trainers podcast today.
Thank you for having me, and I'm really excited to share some moments with you.
Thank you. We're excited too, and we'd like to know if you have a moment of gratitude to share with us and the listeners.
Yes, I do. I want to quickly talk and appreciate that I am actually able to run, and I do that on a daily basis. I do that every day. I think it is not a matter of asking how fast you are. It's not a matter of asking how many kilometers are you able to run. I think it's just a matter of having the health to be able to run. There are a lot of people out there who wish they could exercise and who wish they could do that without any pain, without any hurdles, and without all the obstacles in the way. And I think a lot of times I get reminded by that, or we get reminded by that when our health is not at 100%. And I like to remind myself before or during every single run I do that this is the most important thing of all. Before we even think about other goals, we have to make sure that our health is 100%, and that's what I always thank for, and what I'm very, very thankful and where I have a lot of gratitude for.
It's really refreshing to hear you say that, because I have so many clients who are coming to me because they can't walk anymore, or they can't run anymore, or they need to lift their leg to be able to get up into the car. Their legs not working on their own, and watching them go through the progress and watching them get to the point where they can, start to walk again, or start to jog again, or get on the floor and play with grandchildren, or do their gardening, or even stand long enough to make food for themselves. It's so humbling to recognize that even when we have bad days, we're still able to do so much that some people out there are not able to do. So thank you so much for bringing that light to us. What
we take it for granted sometimes. And I went for a run just the other day, and it's funny that you brought this whole thing up, but every once in a while when I go for a run, I pass by a hospital just to remind myself how lucky I am. I actually ran past a cemetery that day a couple days ago, just to remind myself how lucky I am to be alive and be able to do what I can do, and just another way to reflect and be grateful for what we have, and not take it for granted that we can actually get out there and run.
Yes, I 100% agree that it's I couldn't say it in better words. The real challenge is not always just reaching the goal of running a sub 40 10K or something in that nature. The real challenge in life can be a different one, and can be a lot bigger.
Yeah,
for sure. So tell us what got you into running in the first place.
What got me into running? I'm a passionate soccer player. I'm from Germany, and in Germany, everybody plays soccer. And that was what I did after my big brother was playing. I started playing with like 4 or 5 years of age, and never stopped. That was 100% of my sport activity, and I played on senior level and in a club on a halfway competitive level. But a pretty bad injury on my shoulder made me stop playing soccer with 29 years of age. And the doctor told me, after a successful but a bit complicated surgery, that contact sports should not be done for the next half a year to a year. And when I looked at myself and reflected and noticed I'm 29 now, I'm not becoming a soccer professional anymore, and I was just seeing everything a little more realistic, I found myself in a situation where I wanted to still be active, still challenge myself, but had to find a way where it has less impact on my body. And through the rehabilitation and the fitness studio, I kind of got into running, and it was it was a crazy bet from a colleague of mine and from my boss back at the time, who was 55 at that time, and was betting with one other friend that he can't finish a marathon. And I was just standing around there, and I was like, oh, you know what? That's right after my surgery. I'll do one too. And yeah, here I am now. It really got me. The idea of having a plan that you follow, the idea of having a plan that you follow very, very precisely, and you actually reach after meeting all of those criteria in that plan, meeting actually your goal at the end of it. And the fact that that actually works out got me really, really hyped. And I was, from that moment on, running got me. And I remember my first marathon, I jumped on a training plan for, I think, 3 hours and 45 minutes or something. And I was so excited. And every day where I had a resting day, I felt kind of disappointed. And that I couldn't do something for my plan and for my goal. And yeah, and it just, from there, it took off, and I ran a lot more, and I bought myself a running book, and it was called the Running Bible, which is kind of funny. They had lots of tips there, lots of tips for the diet too, and I jumped right into it, like completely. It was just like a virus for me.
Amazing. It's addicting. It's like you find something you love to do and you want to just do it. And it's funny that you don't realize, running might be something that you actually like doing until you actually get out there and do it.
Yeah, what really got me was especially at the beginning, when you reach your goal. Like I was coming from soccer, so it was a bit more. I was on the competitive thinking level in terms of, I want to reach a 40-minute 10K, or I want to do this in 5K in this and that time. And when you start working out and when you start working towards those goals and you start to reach each one of them, it really makes something with you. And the mindset you are gaining there is not just for running. Like, that got me. I keep sharing that story with people who ask me why I got here to Canada, and I get that question a lot. Why did you leave Germany? Why here in Canada? Well, first of all, Canada is a beautiful country, and life standards here are actually higher ranked than in Germany. A lot of people don't know that. But more than that, it was just the goal, or the mindset that I learned from running. If you set yourself a goal, if you want to go somewhere and you have a plan for it and you follow that plan, you will get there. You will automatically get there. And Adam, I'm referring to the podcast where you were telling your story, and you explained that I can't should be erased out of the dictionary. That's how I feel about that too. Like, that's what this whole running experience taught me. There is no I can't. You have to have a realistic goal. Okay, that much I agree. You can't like jump half an hour steps or something like that. But other than that, I am very, very convinced that if you're willing to put in the work and if you're willing to follow that plan, you will get there.
Yeah, you make a choice. You either choose to do it or you choose not to do it. But there is no such thing as I can't. You can. It's a choice that we all have, that we can make. And for sure.
I think just yesterday I was looking, I don't remember if I was looking at a quote or if I was writing something for an upcoming podcast Instagram post on plant trainers, but whatever it is that I was doing, I was thinking about steps and working in steps. And sometimes those steps are really, really small, but you need to know, and it was actually like steps, like walking up the steps. But the metaphor there was that you have to pay such close attention to the small little progress that you're making every single day, because it's very easy to get caught up in your own head. It's really easy to say, okay, this was my goal, or I was looking to, PR, or I may not have gone faster, but I felt better. But you're concentrating on that I didn't go faster. So you have to pay such close attention to those steps to be able to get you into that next run for a lot of people. And that's huge. And that's something that I can probably relate to a little bit more than Adam, because my body's not necessarily made for running. I'm not it's not as easy for me, right? Like I come from a place of strength that, like, my body's built for strength. So you have to kind of pay attention to the small little steps to bring you forward.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, it's that's also why I think it's very important to have a plan and either have a trainer that knows which direction you need to go, or if you have other resources like books and smart people who can give you some tips and hints, or who can share experiences. That is, I think, a very good starting point for some such an journey.
So vegan running, where did the vegan part come in? Now we understand where the running came from. How did you get to be plant-based?
That was actually a quite soft transformation compared to a lot of other vegans who are, well, I don't know if a lot of others, but mine was very soft. I ran for 5 years already, and I followed a pretty strict running diet where I eliminated pretty early in the process pork completely. I tried to stay away from all animal-based fats. I was also, when I ate meat, I was very much worried about lean and quality meat. And that switched a little bit when a vegan friend of mine, well, first of all, I had a couple of friends who became vegan, and none of them was pushing me. None of them was asking me. None of them was like, oh, you should try it too. But I, for myself, got a little bit of, like, I started to become curious about it, because he did not look like the typical, like what you would define as a vegan. I like to call him the German Rock. He sounded like Arnold and looked like the Rock. So he is a nice mixture of both. And he's very knowledgeable when it comes to the plant-based diet. But at the same time, he was never pushing, and he got me extremely curious how it would actually affect my endurance running, because I'm running a lot. I eat a lot of calories. I need a lot of nutrition. And the way he was explaining it, it wouldn't make any issues, or it wouldn't be even a problem for me. So at one point, that was actually not too long ago, in February this year, I decided to, when I went on a vacation with him, I decided to go vegan, as I eliminated a couple of months before already the dairy out of my diary as well, because of some interesting documentaries on YouTube that kind of, got me away from that. And the eggs I also eliminated, so there was only chicken and meat left. And for that, I actually went through the exercise of going to farmers market and bought it on Saturdays when I went with my girlfriend there. And I asked myself, why do I go through that exercise? Why am I doing this? And when I went on the vacation and had that 2.5 weeks of complete 100% vegan life, I returned, and I never missed any meat and never looked for anything, never I think my veganizer friend put it in very good words. He said, you should not see it as you're limiting yourself. You should look at it as you're gaining something for your life. And that is a very, very good way of describing veganism.
That's a great perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
So how did your running change? Did it change because you went from eating a lot of calories, getting a lot of calories from the animal-based meats, to becoming vegan. Now you're having more nutrient dense foods that are lower in calories, and people are always concerned about, you're not getting enough calories on a vegan diet, you're not getting enough protein on your vegan diet. So how did your athleticism, your body feel or change once you transition to a vegan lifestyle?
I felt a lot lighter. I felt a lot better in every single aspect, I have to say. I did not feel like I'm losing energy. I felt like I have more energy. I have never started started a running cycle in a lighter and more lean body shape than I was for this one, for my last and first vegan marathon that I ran. And I realized it a lot with recovery. Recovery is a huge difference. Like I did a 20K yesterday, and I'm going today again. And regarding the food, I made myself a chickpea soup, a huge pot of chickpea soup with potatoes and with all the creams in it. And I love just freestyling a little bit with it too, throwing in some kale, throwing in some China, no, not, how is it called? Some kale and some other creams and all that good stuff. Sometimes I don't go after recipes. Sometimes I love going after like the new recipe and learn something new. And in terms of the running, it never held me back. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. The sweets, you have to be a little more creative. I feel like the baking is a big thing there that I'm getting more and more into. And it also helps when you're having a partner who's vegan. That's one big advantage I had on top of my friend. And that was actually helping me a lot throughout my running as well, because sometimes you can focus on your thing and somebody else is preparing the food for you. So that is a big asset.
Yeah, it certainly helps.
That does help. So it's great to hear. Did you say that you run every single day, or do you take a day off?
During my cycle, I was running every day, and usually I try to, yes.
Awesome. So if somebody wanted to start to get into running, what would you recommend they do? Where would you recommend that they start?
Start at your status quo, define where you are, and define a goal where you want to go. And I would recommend the first goal, or generally keep the goals realistic to where your status quo is. But at the same time, I am very much convinced of doing it consistently, getting out of your comfort zone. I think is part of the process as well, and not just staying in your so-called comfort zone, and having a smart plan to do it, like working out consistently, working out smart, working out however you want to call it. I call it hard. So it's a tough word to use for a workout, but or going out of your comfort zone, I think sounds a little more like
definitely
workout.
does. Yeah.
Do you like to run on your own, or with a running partner, or a group of people, or what? Do you listen to something when you run, or do you like just listening to your thoughts?
I use it. To me, it's meditation. It is meditation in a way. I try to recapture my days when I run. I try to think of and my thought of gratitude I have every day and every time I run. I do have music on my ears too, which goes in all different areas, and it's kind of funny. But I mainly use the running to ground myself, to unplug, keep the phone at home. I never have my cell phone with me, and I have the privilege of living in a nice area here in Toronto, at the beaches, where you have the path and the lake right in front of you, and that's just phenomenal. Winter as well as summer.
It's funny how you and Adam are so much alike in that way. I mean, I won't let him leave the house to run without his cell phone, but he doesn't use it while he's running. He has to have it. But I bet in his head he's thinking, oh, the beaches. I'd like to go for a run in the beaches.
I don't usually run down there. That would be nice.
We
Definitely.
should totally start one.
Mm.
So how are you bringing, are you okay to talk about this? How are you bringing the vegan and running community together in Toronto? What are some of your plans?
There are actually some plans now, yes, and I'm very happy to talk about them. The first thought, or how vegan running actually started, was I was running with a running group and with a running community that I felt very sorry that we kind of split up during COVID, and I kind of lost my running group. And we used to be a very competitive bunch of people, and I was one of the slower ones in that group, and they were always very much about performing well and having a nice jersey on and representing the group. And it was very challenging sometimes, especially for me, since I ran with a lot of guys who were faster than me. But at the same time, I felt very proud wearing the singlet on races and such. And since I didn't have that anymore, and I became vegan, and running is my passion, and I really, really love both, and I wanted to represent, and I wanted to show everybody in Toronto that vegans can run fast and hard. I decided to run with a singlet and to run with vegan running, and to found that group. And I'm now in the process of speaking to different partners to organize a 10-kilometer vegan run in Toronto, which should be a very interesting way of bringing the community a little bit more together, bringing it together with non-vegans, showing non-vegans that vegan food is good too, having some vegan partners there. When you finish, to refuel, having maybe a category only for vegans, where the first 3 finishers get a prize, and embrace the lifestyle of sustainable and healthy living, and do that through a nice community run. That's one thought I have in my mind, where I feel like it's a great way of reaching out, reaching people, reaching families, and raising a little bit of awareness for our great lifestyle. At the same time, I want to have it competitive. I do have to say there is a huge urge for having a elite field of sub 40 runners here in Toronto. There's a huge interest for me to bring some running clubs down there too, and to make this really a sports event as well as a fun event on both sides and both ends.
I love the idea. We have a great vegan community in Toronto, and there's nothing more exciting to us than getting people active and getting people out there and involved, and putting together a vegan run. It sounds like a great idea to bring everyone together in the great city of Toronto. And I know they're doing this in other cities as well. So there's definitely a want for it, and showing that we could be elite athletes as well. I mean, it's already been proven, so it's awesome, and a lot of people could take part, especially if it's a family event. And of course, we would love to help support the event. Let us know when it is, and we'd love to be there and be a part of it.
100%.
And help get the word out.
For sure.
Yes, I would love every team up and every partner I can gain for this idea. I would love to, and it's gonna be, yeah. I'm really excited about it too. I just started it, and it actually came from one of my role models, Arnold Schwarzenegger, has his 6 secrets of success recorded on YouTube. There, I found them extremely helpful if you want to motivate yourself, if if you just overhear his really funny accent back at that time, then yeah, he's really good. And one of his rules is to give back something to the community. And yeah, I don't really see any like them. That's my drive for this. It's not really anything in terms of, oh, I want to get vegan running out there. No, it's really, yes, I want to get our causes, being a vegan, being able to perform well, and the healthy lifestyle is proven, and we can all live with it. And you don't need to kill animals to live your own life. It's absolutely unnecessary. And you can perform, you can have great food, it will taste good, and there's nothing you will miss.
Yeah, love it. Daniel, if there's people that are listening that are interested in the vegan running program or interested in learning more about you, where would you like them to go? Where can they get that information?
They can sure visit my website, www.vegan-running.ca. Anytime you're interested, there's several ways to contact me through the website. I have a Instagram page, Vegan Running as well, and I also have a Facebook site that's called Vegan Running. So yeah, if you're interested in having a fun run in Toronto around the beaches, or if you're interested in having a chat and about veganism in general, or how to train for your next marathon, 10K, or you have any other goal, feel free to hit me with a message, and we can sure have a chat and see how we can work together.
Awesome. We're going to link to your information at planttrainers.com. Daniel, it's awesome stuff you got going on. Happy to hear it, and look forward to getting involved with that run that you're going to put together. So thank you so much for being here on the Plant Trainers podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and have a wonderful next week, and we'll be in touch.